But it was absolutely horrifying. I mean, to see her in a seizure state, not being able to think or do anything, not knowing what that meant was absolutely horrifying in every way.
Today, Gwenny's a different girl. Alex, like any parent, needed answers.
I felt I had two choices. One was to completely go mental breakdown. Two was to kind of delve into it and understand what was happening to her.
She was diagnosed with epilepsy and was having around 40 to 50 seizures a day. They ranged from tonic to myoclonic.
Even if she wasn't having a seizure we could see, she was having constant epileptic seizure activity in her brain.
Called subclinical seizures. Because of the frequency, these are the ones that could cause brain damage. They did CT scans right away, and the results of the EEGs were alarming.
Almost constant subclinical seizure activity, which means there was basically, in layman's terms, misfiring going on all the time.
She was on 9 different medications.
Kept hoping the next one would work, the next one would work.
Despite all of her doctor's efforts, none improved the subclinical activity.
Can I get a hug?
At the age of 2, Gwenny was developmentally stuck at a 4-month-old level. Alex then decided to take his daughter's health into his own hands and read everything he could find about epilepsy.
I was looking to understand what was happening to my daughter. I was looking to see if there was something that hadn't been thought of or had been ignored because of some other factor. And along that journey, I came across cannabis.
Ah, cannabis. It's a hot topic right now in the health community, with tons of people like Alex coming forth with their success stories.
So to begin with, we had to get a prescription because I was very committed to doing things in a as legal manner as possible. I really wanted to be able to have her doctors, her neurologists follow her progress.
But admittedly, they didn't know enough about the use of cannabis as treatment.
If nothing else is working and this might work, it's like, let's try it.
Only one of Gwenny's doctors agreed to write the prescription based off the trust and faith that he had in Alex and his thorough research. But there was one problem. At the time, you could only legally purchase cannabis in its dry form, meaning you had to smoke it.
I mean, that's an archaic law. The fact that a child would be asked in any way to ingest a medicine in an inhalation smoked vaporized form, it's ridiculous.
Not to mention, specifically trying to dose an inhalation would be pretty hard.
It's a fat-soluble substance, so you can make it into an oil-based extract concentrate.
For Alex, there was a lot of trial and error.
Guinevere's story is a representation of hundreds of Texans suffering from epilepsy. Cases like this are what helped to motivate the introduction of Bill number 339 into the Texas Senate. Stephanie Click, a member of the House, was the driving force behind House Bill 892 and then persuaded Senator Kevin Eltife to write Senate Bill 339. Pushing them through both houses simultaneously helped to expedite the process. The bill finally reached Greg Abbott, where it was signed on June 1st, 2015.
Many families are thankful Governor Greg Abbott signed new legislation into law today.
Children who suffer from epilepsy can now receive cannabis oil as part of their treatment. Today, the governor signed the legislation alongside patients and advocates in his reception room at the Capitol. Under this law, the drug can only be prescribed for people diagnosed with incurable epilepsy. The oil is extracted from the marijuana plant, but it does not give the patient a high.
It will, however, provide healing and hope for children who are afflicted by unrelenting seizures caused by epilepsy.
So today marks the end of years of struggle for certain families struggling with epilepsy. KXAN's Phil Prazen shows us why they say this bill will make their children's lives better.
This picture marks the end of a long journey. For years, these families have searched for another option.
We all are in the same situation.
Marcy Bingham has tried 16 types of drugs for her son with epilepsy, Jacob.
And so many needles. Now his veins are no good. We've lost all of his veins now.
She hopes she's found the right one with CBD cannabis oil now that it's legal in Texas.
We're very hard to change in Texas. Very difficult to make change, but I think this is a huge change. And we know that it's going to help kids.
I graduated today. I feel like I took Government 101 and I got an A+. The bill passed. It was signed today. It's so surreal.
Leslie Mosia hopes the law just signed by the governor can help her son, Zachariah. They've looked for something to help with his seizures for years.
It gives us hope. We were out of treatment options. This gives us another tool in our toolbox, so to say.
A toolbox a little more full after lawmakers make a difference. Phil Prazen, KXAN News.
Opponents of this bill attacked it from both sides. Some say this would lead to marijuana legalization. Others were upset it didn't go far enough and left out cancer patients and people with PTSD. This is the first time Texas has passed a medical cannabis bill, but there are a lot of rules that are tied to this legislation. Doctors can only prescribe cannabis oil if they are certified by the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology in epilepsy, neurology, or in neurophysiology. This bill also establishes an online registry of all the patients who are prescribed the drug. It will include the patient's personal information as well as the dosage prescribed. Law enforcement agencies will have access to this registry as well. The legislation also directs the Texas Department of Public Safety to license at least 3 dispensing organizations to provide the drug. The dispensaries will act like compounding pharmacies and will have to meet a long list of requirements.
Looks like Texas is finally going green. Well, kinda. Governor Abbott said Sunday he will sign Texas Senate Bill 339 into law. The bill will allow folks with epilepsy and other chronic diseases a chance to get their hands on medicinal marijuana.
I don't believe this bill is going to help a single patient.
You heard right. Even though some thought Texas would never pass any bill with the word marijuana in it, DFW Normal says this bill won't help anybody.
The bill requires doctors to prescribe this medication, and doctors can't prescribe anything that doesn't have FDA approval.
Federal law prohibits docs from writing prescriptions for weed. They can only recommend the use of the oils the plant produces. Oh, and the bill also won't legalize any medical Mary Jane with a high amount of THC.
Most seizure patients require higher levels of tetrahydrocannabinol than this bill allows, and the bill does nothing to help all the other people with medical needs of cannabis.
But while Sloan says this bill falls way short, there is a silver lining to getting ganja legal in the Lone Star State.
I applaud the Texas legislature and our governor for finally being honest about the medical values of cannabis, but I think it's largely political window dressing.
My goal for him is to hear his voice, to hear him talk. We just want him to be happy.
This is more than just make it so that he doesn't have seizures anymore. I want him back. I want him to thrive and live and enjoy us. And if a plant can do that, why do we object?
Some of the kids clearly became more verbal, better coordination. I had one child who started walking while they were using the medications.
We instantly saw results. He was smiling again. We noticed the decrease in seizures. He was able to transition. And at this point, he was finally able to gain cognitive skills.
Epilepsy is dangerous and can cause death easily. Approximately 1 in 1,000 people die as a result of sudden unexplained death. When you're on multiple medical agents, that rises to 6 to 9 patients per 100,000, or roughly 1 in 150. I believe that this medication, which is more or less a nutritive agent, has extremely low risk for negative side effects and would represent a possible alternative treatment which would augment therapy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Perkins.
So last January, she'd been on cannabis oil for 5 weeks, and we didn't see a seizure for 5 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, no seizures, and then we went for an EEG and it showed no epileptic activity. I was like, wow, like this is the first thing that actually helped her.
A great moment for the Repetskis. Gwenny was starting to show signs of improvement.
She was happier, she was becoming ticklish.
They went to go see her doctor and discuss her latest EEG.
They couldn't believe it, that there was no epileptic activity on the EEG. So I gave the doctor a hug.
She's made huge strides in just a year.
Is he yummy? The fact that we're not scared that she's constantly having a seizure has been amazing for us, because whereas my wife would be up all night watching the monitor or sleeping in her bed or having her in our bed, just waiting for that seizure, we don't have to do that anymore. Her brother Damien is now experiencing somewhat of a normal sibling relationship.
Alex knows this is in no way a cure for her, and she still has many challenges to face, but the bottom line is she's been seizure-free for over a year, and her quality of life has increased.
She's having fun, and she's developing, and her quality of life has improved incredibly dramatically, which improves everyone in the family's quality of life. What's needed is research and education, and for us to have an open dialogue about cannabis, cannabis oil, what it's doing, how it's working, so that doctors can become comfortable with the fact that this is another option for them.
Cannabis oil has been reported to have helped many people with many different disease states. But let's keep in mind, it's not some magic elixir, and like Alex said, lots of research still needs to be done. From being on 9 medications to eventually just 1, Gwenny continues to grow and develop.
So I hope that her trajectory just keeps going and that she keeps improving.
After going through the legal system, the healthcare system, and then his own system, Alex feels encouraged.
So, I mean, there is a shift, and there is a realization that, you know, this is something that deserves to be looked at more.